Today I'm going to share with you the life of a saint named Saint John the Almsgiver and 4 lessons from him on how to fundraise. And you're really going to like the last one because I'm going to teach you, he's going to teach you how he was able to double his fundraising income just by using one of the virtues. Super, super cool. Hi, I'm Brice Sokolowski, the host of CatholicFundraiser.net. And well, this week I'm in Houston, Texas at the beautiful parish of St. Bartholomew. And if you get a little background of what this place looks like, it's pretty big. It's very, very cool. Anyways, I want to share with you 4 lessons from St. John the Almsgiver, and I have everything that written on my hand so I don't forget as I walk around with my selfie stick. So the first lesson from St. John the Almsgiver. Well, let me explain who he is. He's a 6th century Byzantine saint who got his name and his reputation because he was extremely generous, but he was able to raise a whole lot of money for the Catholic Church during his lifetime. So what better person to learn about fundraising than St. John the Almsgiver? So St. John Almsgiver, 4 big lessons from him about fundraising. Number 1, he was extremely positive. So not only was he going out and preaching the gospel and actually building, he was actually one of the founders of the Order of Malta and St. John Hospitaliers. It's a French word I'm trying to say in English. It's difficult for me. So he was able to fundraise. First lesson I learned, and people were really, this is why they were giving to him, because he was super positive. Super positive. And he was always like that. And people remembered him because he was positive. So that's lesson number 1. If you're dealing with difficulties, and more than likely with fundraising, you just got to be positive and believe in God and that he's going to provide for you, and just go out and always be positive like St. John the Almsgiver. The second lesson is set the example on giving. So his saint name is St. John the Almsgiver, and that's because he was giving. And pretty much everything that he received, he gave. And so he was able to raise a whole lot of money. Sorry about the wind, I'm going to get out of it in a second. He was able to fundraise a lot because he was able to give a lot. So his name is St. John the Almsgiver because he was setting the example. When people would give him money, he would use it and he would show people what he was doing with it. And this was highly inspirational for people, and that's why he was giving all the time. He was fundraising and successful. So you have to be setting the example. And the third lesson that I learned from him is you've got to be confident and you've got to be patient. So he wasn't, he had big plans and he wanted to really boost up the Order of Malta, but he was patient with it. So I know with our fundraising campaigns and we're looking for money, well, we can, we're like, we got to do it now. We got to find the donors right now. But we learned from St. John the Almsgiver that you got to be positive that God, he's going to help you out. And you just got to be a little bit patient. And, patience is a virtue that we have to develop. So look to that as your 3rd lesson on really how to move your fundraising forward. And now the 4th lesson, and this is phenomenal what he was able to do with this virtue, and this virtue is humility. Now, something similar happened to him that he did with Job. So St. John lost everything. He absolutely lost everything. But instead of complaining to God about why that happened, he simply said, you know what, that's fine. If that's what God wants, that's fine with me. And he recognized he might have gotten a little boastful about raising all that money, so he just took it in stride. He was super positive. He said, you know what, if this is what God wants, not for me to not have any money, not have any impact, because he was a little upset because he was able to fundraise a whole lot and he was making a huge impact. But, that was all taken away from him. So he said, you know what, that's fine. I'm going to give everything to God. And if he wants me to continue, I'll do it. But if not, I'm here and I'm always doing his will. And it was this action, this response to losing everything, similar to what happened to Job, that he was able to actually recoup all his losses and double his fundraising from before. So that is this fourth lesson. Be humble. If your campaign doesn't work out, that's fine. Just take it in stride and say, you know what, I'm still going to do God's will regardless of what happens, and what comes is what comes, but I'm always here for God. So those are the 4 lessons from St. John the Almsgiver. I hope they helped you. Leave a comment below. Go to my website, catholicfundraiser.net. If you have any questions and you want to just boost your fundraising, reach out and ask me, because that's what I do, and that's what I'm here to help you with. So God bless you, and I will see you next week. If you enjoyed this video on fundraising, make sure to subscribe. Right over there, it's going to be somewhere. Also, if you just enjoyed the scenic views of Catholicism in France, make sure to subscribe as well, and just follow me along on learning how to fundraise and seeing the beauty of Catholicism in the south of France. Cheers. Santé.